going to eat a popsicle like that just to annoy you. It's lime flavored. Oh, that's good.
Mine lost its flavor now. It just is a frozen water.
How did it lose its flavor?
The lime really wasn't that strong to start with.
Really? Because mine is really sour.
Mm.
You got the lemon. You got the lemon limesicle.
Damn, that was a good joke. Oh,
that was a dad joke.
Excuse me.
Well, speaking of dads, we're going to pay tribute to both of our fathers by telling funny stories that they got up to.
I have a good one to start it off with.
Okay, tell yours.
All right. So this happened a few days ago. Like last month. So not that long ago. Last month this happened. So me, my mom, and my brother got back home, and I got out of the car first. I walked up to the door and I knocked, and my dad opened the door, and I looked at him and I said, "We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty," and he started laughing. He never laughs at anything.
Really?
Yeah, you've seen him.
He laughed.
He laughed.
He laughed at something. Really? I rarely ever see him smile. I've only seen him smile twice.
And I'm sure one of them was at the dog.
Yeah. The rest was when he was talking to my dad. That's the only other time I've seen him smile.
There's guns.
Yeah. So he laughed.
He laughed.
Wow.
That was mind-blowing. That he actually found a joke I made funny.
Wait, we can't tell him about this. I'm going to try that if he answers the door. Do you think he'll laugh a second time?
I don't know.
Because I don't think he knows that you've told me this, so that would make it funny.
Exactly.
I got to do that. But he never answers the door when I knock. It's always Dave or the dog.
The dog answers the door?
Yeah, it pisses on me.
It's not answering the door. That's like, there's a person. Someone else opens the door. The dog leaps.
Yeah. He laughed. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Now, I can see your mom laughing. I can see Dave laugh. I can see my own dad laugh. I can't see your dad laughing. Like, it breaks the universe to imagine him laughing. That's some peak comedy right there.
Apparently.
Yeah.
All it takes is trying to reach him about his car's extended warranty.
Maybe you caught him. Maybe he had just gotten off the phone about that. Maybe he had just answered the phone and it was one of those, and he had just hung up, and then you knocked on the door, and that's a gun to laugh. That's probably what happened.
Comedic timing.
Yeah, it was the perfect time. Like, if you had waited 2 more seconds, it wouldn't have been good.
Just like God level comedic timing.
Yeah, I would. I bet. I will. I'll bet you that's what happened. Okay, let's see. I got a funny story about that. It happened about the same time, about a month ago. We call it the angry shopping cart incident.
Oh no.
I don't think I've told this one to you.
No, but I can assume based off the name.
Yeah. He was sitting in Winco's parking lot in his car. Actually, no, it was Mom's car.
Okay.
He doesn't drive his truck too often nowadays.
Yeah.
And this guy was driving a car by, and this guy had just lazily left the cart out, and he'd hooked on the back of this guy's truck. And while he was reversing, it just kept going, and he rammed that shopping cart right into my dad's car, and then drove off. Like, looked at it and then drove off.
Wow.
Can you imagine what my dad does?
Speeds after him and pulls him out of the car and beats him to death?
No.
What?
No. A little bit more funny.
Oh boy.
He gets out of the car, grabs the shopping cart, and chases after that truck with the shopping cart. And he books it. I wish there's security camera. He books it. And when that car has to stop for his stoplight, he rams that shopping cart so hard into the truck he breaks the taillight.
Damn.
Yeah. He breaks a guy's Grand Theft shopping cart. That's what he just did. And the guy gets out. And he immediately sees how angry my dad is and hops back in his truck and leaves.
All right, can we extend it to just funny stories, not just about parents, or do we need to keep it about that?
Yeah, we can just do funny stories, but man, that one was funny.
All right, so not yesterday, but the day before, at work, someone cut the locks on our gate, came in and stole one of our trailers.
Oh dear.
You know, like the little white covered trailers that have locking doors?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was one of those, the smaller ones, and they stole it. Here's the problem, though. They didn't steal it professionally. So this little white trailer was in the front, in between two combine hauling trailers. These are tilt trailers built out of solid steel.
Yeah.
Reinforced.
I've seen them. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's in between two of them. There's one on each side. And so so in front of that, parked about halfway, because this is against the fence, is a semi-truck. One of the old flat front, like from the, I want to say 60s or 70s. Like one of those. And it's old enough that it doesn't start with a key. They've had to modify it so that it just starts, because they can't key. They have had too many problems. But
It's an old crank start then, huh?
No. They just took out the key part. But it's parked so that the back of it is blocking about half of the path for the trailer.
Okay.
So these people come in, and on the cameras, they come in an old, beat-up, dark-colored 4Runner. A Toyota 4Runner.
4Runner.
A 4Runner.
Why a 4Runner?
Because that's what they had. But they come in, and they fiddle with the gate lock for about 10 minutes. Leave for about 10 minutes. Come back. Fiddle with it for another 10 minutes. Cut it, finally. Swing the gate open. They bring the 4Runner in. I think they struggled for like another 5 minutes trying to figure out how to get the 4Runner in at the right angle and then hook up to the white trailer. And then they took off and they ripped the passenger side fender off of the trailer because it got hooked on the release for the drop on one of the combine trailers. And because of how solid it was, it bent the release a little bit. It still works. Not as well, but it bent the release and ripped the fender off of that. The fun part is the fenders are actually what the lights are attached to. So they removed a light. It also has, because of the company that owns it, it has a yellow plate. So it's company owned. So they stole a company owned vehicle, or a company owned trailer, caught on camera. Inside of it was a bunch of empty totes and a few totes with really cheap, like, wrenches. And that was about it. I don't know, maybe like $100 worth of stuff, grand total. And then if they want to sell the trailer or use it, they have to fix it. So they scuffed up both trailers while dragging it and bumped and bent the what's it called? The mud flap on the back of the semi-truck. Because they tried to gun it out of there. And there's even there were scuff marks in the gravel from them. Like, I think they forgot to raise the stand.
Oh, man.
But oh, you know the best part?
What?
That car had been camped out in front, like in the PGE area right next door for like a week. So we drove past it for a week. And when someone started describing it, they were like, wait a minute, I've seen that car before.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they said it, everyone was like, oh yeah. That car, that black, beat up, with a white. It was either a fender or the bumper had been replaced and was white or gray.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so it's recognizable.
Yeah.
And it was parked there for about a week.
Oh dear.
I think their planning needs a little more planning.
Well, no one ever said criminals are smart.
Yeah. You got one?
Yeah, I got a couple of funny work stories. I mean, I got a lot more funny work stories from my old job. I got one funny one from my new job. Yeah, I got a couple. Funniest one involved a forklift.
Yeah, is it the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah, the millwrights stealing my forklift that I rightfully stole from them.
Oh no, that's not the one I was thinking of.
What was the one you were thinking of? Oh, you mean... No.
That was funny,
I was told I can't talk about that anymore.
Okay, yeah, I can see.
Apparently, there was some legal issues, and I was told by my boss, don't tell anyone. That was after I told you, though. So I can't tell that story anymore.
But can I tell it?
No! You'll get me in trouble if people find out.
One, who's going to find it? Two, how are they going to connect you?
Everything on the internet's found. And plus, if you tell that story, it'll be pretty easily traced back to me, because I was like the only person, I was like one of like 3 people at the mill at that time when it happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be one of 3 people to narrow it down.
All right.
So we're not telling that story.
All right.
I'm gonna tell the story how the millwrights stole a forklift from me. So, well, basically how it worked is I worked in the boiler house, and we had this system called a scrubber, and it basically just cleans out a bunch of the wood chips and fuel out of a dryer system, all the hot air and crap, so we don't release smoky crap into the atmosphere. And so there's a bin at the bottom that fills up, and I gotta dump that once a day, right?
Yeah.
I had been using you know what? I'm gonna make up a name for her. Jenny's forklift. She works in the main control room, but she has a forklift. I'd been using her forklift. Her forklift is a piece of crap, and I didn't like it. For one, it was a really tiny forklift, and I had to lift a really big bin with it, and that forklift had barely enough horsepower to lift that bin and move.
So why wouldn't you find a different one?
Well, because I was told I had to use that one.
Oh.
For the time being. But if there was any mud on the pavement, it would just get stuck.
That's just normal forklifts.
No, but I'm talking even if it wasn't under load, it would hit that thing and just...
Yeah.
And I'm talking less than an inch of mud. It would just not work. I did not like that forklift. So, there's this really old beat up forklift number 42, that is probably older than my grandfather. I'm not kidding, it's a 3 on the tree manual forklift. It has a clutch pedal.
Okay, so besides the clutch pedal you just described, all of the forklifts at my work.
Okay.
They have neutral, forward, and reverse.
That's not what this had. This had forward and reverse, but it had second gear and third gear. So, okay, first gear is where first gear normally is.
Yeah.
And then reverse is straight down.
Yeah.
But to go faster, you go in the middle, down, and then forward for second gear, and then straight down from that to third gear.
Why would you ever need to go into third gear on a forklift?
Well, guess how fast third gear got you to go?
How fast?
I don't know, because it kept popping out of gear. That's why. That forklift, if you gave it too much gas when you were accelerating, it would just pop itself out of gear. And it was only when you were accelerating, decelerating, so you had to be finicky with it and just punch it. No, not punch it with your foot. I mean, physically take your hand and punch the shit out of that shifter to get it to stay into gear. Okay? And that's not even the worst part. So, you had one lever for all the forklift controls, too. So, Forward and up to the right was lifting up your fork blades.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten told by or haven't gotten in trouble with FR.
FR? I mean HR.
But for forklifts.
No. No. Okay. So you had to go up and to the right. That took your forks up. Okay. But then to go take your forks down, it was the weirdest thing. You had to go in the middle, all the way to the left, and then up for down.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is the most puzzle box forklift I have ever heard of.
Here's even the worst. So the middle rungs on that lever, they're just rungs. Those were for widening your blades.
That's cool.
Yeah. I could widen them up to 10 feet.
Damn.
Yeah. But it took them forever.
What do you pick? Well, normally you put it in a neutral and you slam on the gas and it goes faster.
Yeah.
For widening and all that.
Well, okay. Well, it didn't do that.
Really?
It had 2 throttles, too. The throttle on the floor, that didn't rev your engine. When you hit that, that would just tell you how fast you could go in one gear. That was go pedal. So then you would just be in the gear and then you would let off and then shift. You had a hand throttle as well. That was your revving engine thing.
Revving engine
thing. Yeah, that thing. Okay? And so it was just, and then to tilt your whole boom back and forth, you had to just do a whole bunch of weird crap. I didn't figure out how to do that. I just wiggled it till it moved. That was that forklift. And mind you, that lever would also fall off. Yeah. And so it had been sitting in my alleyway between the millwright's shop and where I worked, the boiler house, for like 3 weeks. Just been in the way.
Yeah.
So one day, I got all my chores done early, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move that damn forklift, and if I get it running, because they had told me it is broken. If I get it running, I'm gonna claim it as my forklift. It's just gonna be. I'm gonna hide it. You know what? I'm gonna get it working, and then I'm gonna park it around back of the boiler house where the millwrights never go, and it'll just be my forklift. You know, if Jenny can have her own forklift, damn, I'm gonna have one too. They never use it anyway, so it's sitting here for 3 weeks. It's my forklift now.
Exactly.
That was my thinking behind it.
Yeah, that's gonna get you in trouble, but
I don't think it. They left it for 3 weeks.
That's true.
I've never seen anyone else drive that thing.
Really?
Yeah. No one drives it. It's like the last ditch forklift. That's how bad it is. Why do you think they would leave it for 3 weeks? It was 3 weeks.
That's the Clark where I work.
What?
The forklift that almost no one wants to drive is the Clark.
Yeah. This was the Heister.
Oh, jeez.
What?
Is German?
Yeah. All the forklifts are Heisters.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. This was one slightly more powerful than Jenny's forklift. So I fired it up. It took me, I kid you not, 20 minutes to fire it up. I don't know why they called it broken.
20 minutes? To fire it up?
Yeah. You know what I had to do?
What?
I had to connect the battery. The battery connectors had fallen off.
Wow.
That's what broke it.
That's what, quote unquote, broke it and no one looked at it?
Yeah. The millwrights have a habit of, if they don't want to use it, they don't bother fixing it.
Huh. Sounds very time consuming when you actually need it.
Well, when you got like 50 forklifts on a plant, you don't really care if one doesn't work.
Yeah.
I kid you not, there's literally 50 of them there.
Jeez.
Yeah. There's big ones, little ones, even tiny ones. There's one that's so tiny, it doesn't even have a roll cage.
Oh,
it doesn't even have a seat. You just stand on the back of it.
Huh.
Yeah. And then there's really big ones that are big enough to lift a D99. Which, if you didn't know, okay, you know those front end loaders? Okay, a D99 is like a front end loader, except it's massive. Like it's about 1.5 stories tall. It's huge.
Nice.
Yeah. And we got forklifts that can just lift it up, like no problem. So yeah, we got big ones and little ones and medium ones. This happened to be a smallish medium one. So I finally get it going. and I drive it around, and then like I hear a from the engine. Like, oh no, it's out of gas.
Hmm.
And then I coast in, and I stop right next to the gas cabinet. Like, it's my lucky
Beautiful.
day. And then I get off, and I'm like, wait, where's the gas tank on this thing? Well, fun fact, the gas tank, I had to disconnect the seat. I had to lift the seat out of this forklift and then open the hood, and then there was the gas tank. Like in the most inconvenient spot.
Yep.
So I put 5 gallons of gas in this thing, and then I slowly, methodically fire it up and immediately stall it out because I put it in the wrong gear. So I fire it. Took me like 3 tries to get it rolling again. So I do. And I finally get to the scrubber bin, which had, at this point, taken me like 2 hours to finally get to it.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a really long trip. And so I'm halfway through getting it done when who shows up? The damn millwrights. Like 2 of them, like, hey, we need the forklift. Those guys waited for me to fill it up with gas before they wanted it.
Yep.
They couldn't have taken any of the other forklifts, but no, they had to take that one.
It's because it widens.
All the other ones widened.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't see the purpose to taking that one then.
I think they just wanted it back because it said millwrights only on the side of it. And I ignored that. And mind you, when they asked me for this, I still had the bin on the forks. And it was raised up and chained to my forklift so it wouldn't fall off. And I'm looking at him like, I'm a little busy. Well, we need it now. And I make this hand gesture towards the big bin that's on my forklifts. And they're like, well, we still need it. Well, you can wait. And they got mad at me. It's like, you can wait. It'll take me 5 minutes to finish this. You can wait. I will put it down and you could have your piece of crap back.
Yeah.
Okay? If you didn't leave it in my alleyway for 3 freaking weeks, I wouldn't have even touched it. I would have just been using Jenny's stupid forklift. And so, later, like, the head millwright came back and like, you can't tell millwrights no.
What?
Yeah, you can't say they can't have their forklift back. I never said they couldn't have it back. I just said to wait till I put the big heavy thing down.
Yeah.
That's all I asked. If they really wanted to, they could have helped me and it would have gone by quicker.
Yeah.
Mind you, that was like my 3rd time ever driving a forklift, so I was still really slow at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my funny. You got any other funny stories?
I got one.
What?
So it may or may not require a little bit of description for it, though.
What's the description?
All right. So where I work, we have I think 4 buildings, right? And then the main building has the office in it, and directly behind the office is one small warehouse, and then there's the break room in the middle, and then beyond that is 2 other warehouses, all one big building, but like 3 warehouses in it.
Yeah.
And the 2 on the other side are bigger than this one. So the one that we were in, we count beet seeds. Like, they go out in the field, they pull a bunch of beet roots out, they bring them in, and then we count the roots out for sizes. We size them. And because it had been raining for a while, because I think they did this, I think, last month. Wow, a lot of my stories happened last month. But we were sorting them by pencil size, and there was because it had been raining so hard, there was a ton of mud. So, me being the kind of person I am, was bored while doing it and collected all the mud off of it so I could tell the sizes better and had a big pile. And then after a while, I was like, you know what? This is kind of soggy, and it's easy to form, so I formed a turd. I then, after I was finished, I made sure to finish first, went in to the break room, and went off to the side of the break room where there's a bathroom, and I left the turd on the toilet seat. I then walked out and started doing what I was supposed to do in the other warehouse, which was cleaning seed. And then one of the guys comes out and he's like, "Hey, did you use the bathroom? Because the temps were complaining that someone took a shit on the seat." I was like, no, it's fake. And he's like, "Okay, can you go take it off?" I was like, "Okay." And I walked in, I picked it up, I wrapped it in toilet paper just cause, and I put it in the garbage can and I walked out and I took a drink. I was like, "Wait a minute. I could do something else with that." So I go back in. I take it out of the can. There's nothing got added before it. And I stick it in my locker and I'm like, "I'm going to save this for later." And it comes in handy. So at the end of the day, one of the other guys who works there has a really bad habit of leaving his locker open and walking out of the room. So he leaves his locker open and he leaves the little lockbox inside of it open. So I stick the mud turd wrapped in toilet paper inside of the little lockbox in his locker, leave both doors open and walk out. And I tell one of the other guys, like, "Hey, I left a fake turd in, what's a good name for him? Let's call him Lion. Lion's locker." And he's like, "Okay, I won't tell him, but I'll tell you when he finds it." 4 days go by.
4 days.
Well, there was the next day we went to work and it was fine, and then we had the weekend, and then 2 days past that, like 4 work days.
Wow.
Plus, so 6 counting the weekend, but we weren't there. Go by, and I was sitting in the lunchroom. I had forgotten I did that. And he walks in and drops it on the counter, and you just hear a thud. And he's like, someone left this in my locker." And I had such a hard time keeping a straight face.
Was he mad?
No, he actually thought it was funny. That's the best part. Is
What made you think that?
Think what?
Just make a turd.
Come on. You know who my parent is.
Yeah, that sounds like your mom.
Exactly. In fact, it's technically a modified version of one she already did pull. Actually, yeah. 2 that she's pulled. Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of crap in your family.
Literally.
Yeah.
Most of it's fake, but still.
Yeah. I got some funny stories involving my dad and uncle.
Oh boy.
They tend to drive my grandmother insane even to this day. I'm gonna tell the whipped cream story.
Oh no.
Yes. Now, there's got to be a little bit of backstory to this one. Now, see, my grandmother, she's a sweet lady. She's paranoid about everything. That's probably where I get most of it. She's paranoid about everything, and she's a neat freak. Like my grandpa, he'll get like a cold, and this is like pre-corona stuff, so a cold was just a cold.
Yeah.
And he gets locked in his bedroom for a week. And she will unlock his bedroom, open the door slightly. She's wearing like a little hazmat suit. Slide his meal in on a tray, and then lock his door.
Wow.
And then she'll take wet wipes and wet wipe everything. I said she should be in charge of the CDC, honestly.
What do you mean? That'd make the CDC worse than it already is.
Well, honestly, she should be in charge of, like, inspecting hospitals. Like, she is so freaking thorough that...
She could be friends with Monk.
No, Monk would get tired of her cleaning everything. That's how much she cleans. She's, like, that bad when it comes to cleaning. And, like, so her kitchen is completely tiled. And, like, if you step 1 foot outside of her kitchen and you have food, it's like, get back in the kitchen!
What about the dining room?
The dining room is also part of the kitchen.
Oh.
It's one of those integrated dining room kitchen things.
Okay.
Yeah. Only, like, twice a year she will allow food out of that kitchen dining room area. That's when she sets up the big table for Thanksgiving or Christmas. Those are the only 2 times. And
Wow.
she's like inspecting everything like before that and afterwards to make sure nothing spills on her precious white rug.
Why would you own a white rug?
She's a grandmother. Grandmothers own white things.
Mine didn't. Actually, I don't know about one, but I know the other didn't.
Well, to be fair, your grandma's kind of sounded pretty mean.
Well, one was kind of mean, and the other I haven't seen in 9 years.
Yeah. Well, let's not focus on that depressing thought. Okay. So anyway, that's just kind of a thing about my grandmother, and she also she worries about everything too. She's a nice, but she tries to be nice. She is a very nice woman, except when you're sick, then she's gonna quarantine you. Like literally, she should have been in charge of the. We made jokes when this coronavirus first came. We should put her in charge of coronavirus. It would just end. Knowing her, she would like stop at every person's house in North America inspecting their quarantine. Yeah, she's a good lady. So anyway, every year my grandpa and grandma go on a 6-week vacation to California because it's warm down there and old people's like warm.
Why California?
Because they had a condo down there.
Oh.
They stopped going recently.
Can't imagine why.
No, grandma got tired of driving and was too cheap to fly.
Oh.
That was the biggest reason. They own a total of actually now 0 guns because they gave their guns to me.
Oh, nice.
No, wait, I think Grandpa still has a shotgun. He uses it to kill golfers. That's about it. Okay? So they don't really... My uncle rents out their basement because of a whole messy divorce issue, so he lives in their basement. And so at the time, he was still living in their basement. This was a couple years ago. And so normally they locked up their house when they left, but they figured, oh, Uncle Jeff is still there. He will guard the house because he has more guns than us. Uncle Jeff has really nice guns. Unlike me. I can't afford his nice guns. I don't even know what he does, but it's something.
You don't want to know what he does.
I know he works for the school district, and I know he gets paid a lot.
That doesn't make any sense.
He's on the maintenance side of things. He might make those little fat ass brats disappear.
Obviously he's failing at his job then.
Yeah. He gets I don't know how much he gets paid, but I know he gets paid enough to afford really nice guns.
Or maybe it's the fact that he's living with his parents still.
He built a house on their property. He's still building. It has taken him a good 6 years and he's still not finished.
You have no idea how much work goes into a house.
Well, he's built it all by hand.
Yeah.
So, okay, fair point. But he took down half of his house because a little bit was slightly off. Like, it wouldn't have mattered in the grand scheme of things.
What was it? What was that? Was slightly off?
One pillar, I believe, was like half an inch off from the other pillars.
Oh, no, that 100% needs to...
No, like, it wasn't a load-bearing pillar. It was just a cosmetic one.
Could he have moved the pillar and it would have lined with everything else?
He could have, but he had to take the whole roof off. So he did.
Yeah.
But no one, I didn't notice. No one noticed. He just noticed when he was measuring between the pillars.
Yeah. It was the measurement is like, oh, now it's off and now I will forever know that it is off.
Yeah. That's him.
And that would be something that would bug me.
Yeah, but that's Uncle Jeff.
Yep.
Okay. And so my grandma also has, those digital picture frames?
Yes.
That flip through the pictures?
Those are awesome.
Yeah, she has one of those. And she has family photos on that. And so my dad and Uncle Jeff, they're both evil geniuses, figured out a way to get at grandma. They just love making her break down, I guess. Grandma had a can of whipped cream in the fridge. Guess what happened to that whipped cream? Okay, so here's what happened. We took my little brother and we sat him down in a chair and had him filling his face with the whipped cream and took a picture of it. In every room of the house, he was filling his face with whipped cream. In her bedroom, we had him laying on her side of the bed, filling his face with whipped cream. In her office chair, filling his face with whipped cream. In her living room chair, watching TV, filling his face with whipped cream. In her laundry room, filling his face with whipped cream. And then we took all those photos and uploaded them to that digital picture frame. And so they would just flip through randomly. Right?
Yeah.
And we forgot about them like 2 weeks later. Right?
Yeah.
Like 6 months after we got back. After they got back from their vacation. She sits us all down and is like, I saw the pictures. And we're like, what pictures? What pictures have you seen? You're like, you know what you did. No, what did we do?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. What did we do? It's like, you know what you did. You ate whipped cream on the carpet. It's like, oh.
Oh, those pictures.
We didn't make a mess. It's the principle of it, kid. It's just, well, there'll be no more whipped cream in this house. She said that.
Has there ever been whipped cream in the house again?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. There was whipped cream back in that house about a month later.
Wow.
Grandpa wouldn't eat any of her cooking without whipped cream.
Eggs, bacon.
No,
what
any
is
of her
that?
desserts.
Oh.
Without whipped cream. He likes his whipped cream.
Cookies? That's weird.
He will put whipped cream on anything.
Wow.
It's actually pretty good with whipped cream on cookies. It's just a flat cupcake, man.
Well, if they're soft cookies, yes. If they're the hard ones that crumble with every bite you take, no.
He doesn't eat those.
Oh.
He doesn't like them. This isn't too dry. But no, he's in the background and he's just... He sounds like Donald Duck when he's trying not to laugh. He sounds like a duck when he's trying not to laugh. And he's just making that sound in the background. And she's just like, and you know what? Uncle Jeff I'm changing the locks and he gets a curfew. Yeah. 48-year-old Uncle Jeff is going to get a curfew. Good luck trying that.
He'll just spend the night at the bar.
Yeah, like he doesn't drink.
Oh.
Like I've never seen him drink anything besides water.
Nice.
Yeah.
Healthy.
Yep. Yeah, he's definitely going to do that and not just go out and race his go-karts. He has go-karts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she just goes on, and I feel bad because I kind of tune it out, but man, she was mad. And then we get home from Grandma's house, and my dad's just like, did you tell her about the pictures? No, she just saw them. It's like, oh yeah, I got an angry email saying that Jeff is now on a curfew and I can't visit him past 8.
Angry email. I'm so angry, I'm going to write one of my children an email.
Yeah. And she called him.
Wow.
She was mad. She's still mad about that. Like, we bring up anything, like, we'll say, hey, Nana, can you pass the whipped cream? Oh, you want whipped cream now? It'll go like that. Any words that we say that involve whipped cream, she's mad. That was like 5 years ago.
Wow.
She's still mad about that.
Jeez.
And that's not even the worst prank my dad and uncle came up with. They did much crueler things to her when they were little.